Welcome to CinoFi, the channel where cinema meets money. We break down the budgets, profits, hidden deals, and financial secrets behind the world's biggest films. If you love movies and money, hit that subscribe button because today we're diving into one of the riskiest, most expensive, and most unbelievable box office turnarounds in Hollywood history. Beat cinematic swell. This is the business breakdown of Titanic. Imagine a studio spending so much money on a movie that the entire boardroom panics. Executives predict bankruptcy, and Hollywood whispers that the film will sink just like the ship. But then, the film becomes one of the highest-grossing movies of all time, launches a global phenomenon, and turns a financial disaster into a $2.2 billion empire. This is the unbelievable business story of Titanic. How a film everyone expected to fail became a money-printing legend. The budget nightmare. Titanic started as James Cameron's passion project. A love story set on a sinking ship with giant water tanks, practical builds, and cutting-edge CGI. 20th Century Fox approved a film with a budget of $100 million. But Cameron? He had bigger plans. Massive sets. Custom-built ocean tanks in Mexico. Full-scale replicas, endless overtime, record-breaking visual effects. The cost spiraled out of control. $120 million, $150 million, $180 million. Finally, Titanic hit a then unthinkable budget of $200 million, the most expensive movie ever made. Executives were furious. Shareholders panicked. Cameron famously said, "Cut my salary, but don't cut the movie." And he meant it. He gave up his entire director's fee. The studio's tag team. Fox was now terrified of losing everything. So they did something rare. They brought in another studio. Paramount Pictures paid half the budget in exchange for domestic rights. Fox kept international rights. Why does this matter? Because Titanic went on to dominate the world outside the U.S. And Fox ended up owning the more profitable half of the deal. At the time, though, both studios braced for disaster. The release everyone expected to fail. Media coverage was brutal. Cameron's folly. Titanic will sink at the box office. Hollywood's first $200 million flop. Even employees at Fox joked that the only thing sinking faster than the ship was their stock price. But then something strange happened, the explosion of Titanic mania. Titanic released on December 19, 1997, and it didn't explode on opening weekend. It grew and grew and grew. Titanic became the first movie in history to be #1 at the box office for 15 straight weeks. That record still hasn't been touched. Teenagers watched it 3, 5, even 10 times. Couples flocked to it like a ritual. People cried, fell in love, memorized every scene, and turned the film into a cultural earthquake. Titanic eventually earned Moneybag worldwide gross, $2.2 billion. That's a 10x return on the largest movie budget ever attempted. But that's not even the coolest part. The real money machine beyond the box office. Titanic turned into a once-in-a-generation merchandising explosion. VHS sales broke every record. DVD sales dominated for years. The soundtrack sold 30 million copies worldwide. Posters, collectibles, magazines, books, theme park exhibits, and museum tours theaters, selling out extended runs re-releases in 3D, IMAX, 4K. Titanic wasn't just a movie, it was a global product. And its lifetime revenue? Over $3.5 billion when you include heavy checkmark home media, heavy checkmark merchandise, heavy checkmark soundtrack, heavy checkmark anniversary re-releases, heavy checkmark TV/streaming rights. The studios who feared financial ruin ended up swimming in profit. The genius behind the money. James Cameron didn't just create a movie, he created a timeless romance, a technical masterpiece, a cultural reset, a multi-billion-dollar financial engine. And because he waived his salary, Cameron instead took back-end profit participation. Result? He earned over $100 million personally from Titanic. The lesson: Titanic wasn't just a movie that made money. It was a movie that proved Hollywood's biggest risks can create history's biggest rewards. What started as a financial disaster became one of the greatest investments in movie history. Thanks for watching this episode of CinoFi Business Breakdowns. If you enjoy discovering the real money behind Titanic, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next Hollywood financial deep dive. Tell us in the comments, which movie's business story should we break down next? This is CinoFi, where movies meet money. See you in the next breakdown.